But before we can talk about who is a Southerner, we need to define where the South is, and that's been a point of contention. But still, Florida is not the South.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ, and today we back with another lit video, back in the confessional, back with another reaction video, and yes, we are on some bullshit. So this has been a long-standing thing. Where does Oklahoma sit in the South? We not the South. We consider the Midwest, but we south of the Mason-Dixon line, so I don't know. But we not considered the South, probably because there wasn't no racial tension between blacks and whites, and Oklahoma probably wasn't a state producing cotton, and it was actually a territory that was sat in the middle of America for the Indians, the Native Americans. So that's probably why they don't consider Oklahoma the South, is because Indian territory. So we are Indian territory. That settles it for Oklahoma. But what about the rest of the South? So let's talk about the rest of the South for a second before I get into our reaction video. So, let's see. All right, so this meme right here was put up. This is the South, y'all. I don't know why we go through this every month. And this has states Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, North and South Carolina, and Florida all in one. But I'm going to just say, some people would consider Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia the South also. So, I don't know. So let's go with what Sauce Walka had to say about this. Because we always need to know what Sauce Walka has to say about this shit. He says, this got to be the dumbest shit I ever saw. P.S. Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Texas are all in the same zones. It's more southern states in the central time than southeastern time. LOL, like Pimp said, y'all tripping. Texas and Florida are the lowest state in the map. Geographically speaking, nothing more south than Texas and Florida. Facts. I mean, he's speaking facts, but is he speaking facts? Let's hear from a faxologist, and let's get this reaction.
What do you think of when I say the South?
Texas, Florida, Alabama,
West Virginia.
Anything below Virginia, pause. Before you answer, recognize the American South has gone through a lot of changes, from how it's defined geographically, to trying to become its own nation, to some major demographic transformations. So how does all of that translate into who chooses to identify as a Southerner? Hey fam, I'm Imayan, and this Sunday on AJ Plus, we're unpacking the South, its history, and how it's evolved drastically over time.
60 years ago, it would have meant probably you're a white Southerner, and probably you are a supporter of the current racial structure where African Americans were relegated to second-class citizens.
But before we can talk about who is a Southerner, we need to define where the South is, and that's been a point of contention. But still, Florida is not the South.
Yes, it is.
Probably would consider Florida South. I mean, that's the South as you can get in America.
The Census Bureau breaks the United States into 4 regions. It defines the South not just by Alabama and Georgia, but also includes Maryland, Texas, and the nation's first state, Delaware.
Delaware? Really?
Delaware.
Yes, really. And there is another map of the region that outlines how the South has been divided historically, by the Mason-Dixon line. It dates back to the Civil War, when states in the southern part of the United States adamantly disagreed with the rest of the Union on slavery. In those states, agriculture, especially cotton, was the engine of the economy, and slaves were the unpaid and abused labor that made it run. So the U.S. went to war with itself, and the United States was torn in two. 11 states seceded from the Union, including Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. These states were serious about creating their own country and keeping slavery. The Confederate States of America established their own president and vice president, as well as their own flag, including the Confederate battle flag. So it's this early division in U.S. history that solidifies the identity of the Dixie South against those Yankees.
Southern identity didn't seem to be something that was driven by race in the way that it was a few decades ago. Blacks and whites were equally likely to say they were Southerners, and that was kind of one of our surprising and big findings.
That's in large part to the changing demographics in the South and the movement of African Americans back to the region.
After World War II, many African Americans left the South to go for better economic conditions, to escape discrimination. Since the 70s and certainly going into the 80s, there's been a net migration of African Americans back to the region. Many folks are coming for some of the same reasons other individuals moved to the South, for economic opportunities. There's a long cultural connection to the region. It does, at least in part, explain this strong connection to the South and Southern culture among African Americans. There's a lot of things that I think, no matter who you are, people tend to have pretty good agreement on. The food, manners, hospitality, a focus on the geography and nature of the South.
And Southern states are believed to have a particular set of politics. The stereotype is that they vote Republican, are socially conservative, and go to church.
Well, there you have it. So, South by definition, pre-Civil War, south of the Mason-Dixon line, that means Delaware is part of the South. Well, guess what, goddammit? If y'all let Delaware in, Oklahoma's in. I'm just saying. If y'all let Delaware in, Oklahoma's in. If y'all let Missouri in, Oklahoma's in. That's what I'm just saying. That's all I have to say. But the South, by definition of culture, is the way you're treated, the way you live, and the way life is. So in the South, of course, we don't have that fast lifestyle as New York City. We don't have that overachieving lifestyle of the West Coast. We just have our slow form of fashion lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? We slow, we talk slow, we act slow, and we'll shoot you slow. You know what I'm saying? Because every state is an open carry state. See, that's where you know you're the South. You know you're the South when you pass a pickup truck and there's a shotgun in the back window. You know you are now in the South, okay? We do have the best barbecue, although we can argue what state has the best barbecue. Of course, if you're from Mississippi or Alabama, you think you got the best barbecue, but you're not even close. Of course, if you're in Texas, you got one of the biggest cattle regions in America, but y'all don't have it by a long shot. And since Missouri is not considered the South, y'all ain't even in the running. So, of course, Oklahoma, since we not in the South either, we not in the running either. But guess what? That means, I guess y'all got to choose between Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, and Memphis. Oh, Tennessee has terrible barbecue. I'm going to be honest, terrible barbecue no matter what town you in. Nashville, Nantucket, all them shits. Terrible barbecue, okay? So I would have to give that to Texas by default because Oklahoma and Missouri ain't in there. So there you go. Texas, y'all getting it by default. Also, I don't understand why they say Florida and Texas is not the South. I'm guessing it's because, you know, the region of area that people were living in Florida. Like, Florida is its own place. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that Florida now is a representation of Florida pre-slavery in times. They motherfuckers were still crazy because you had to be crazy to live in the swampland. You had to be, okay? So that's probably why they don't consider Florida the South. Texas, I don't know. Texas is as south as you can get, as you said. So I don't know, everyday people. Let y'all debate in my comments. Let me know what y'all think. Where is Oklahoma in the South? Is Texas in the South? Is Florida in the South? You know what we doing? Jamming for the South. And you know what though? Everyday people, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. I'll holler at you later. Peace. Hey, what it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ, and today we back with another lit video, man. As you can see, man, we in the confessional here at Steady Eddie, man. Steady Eddie out here in Norman, Oklahoma, man. So if you in the college town, you are just leaving the game, and you need to stop by and get your medicinal, man, just pull up. Where we at?
136 Al Monroe Boulevard, right off of Main Street.
Right off of Main Street, you hear me? All right, so man, yeah, got the shirts, man. I might have to look for one. You know what I'm saying? Hey, check me out though. I'm gonna holler at y'all in a minute. Go and check out this video.